Hello to everyone. Today we are going to discuss a topic intrauterine growth restriction. So, what is the definition? Intrauterine growth restriction is said to be present in those whose birth weight is below 10th percentile of the average for the gestational age. Growth restriction can occur in preterm, term, or post-term babies. Now, the incidence of the IUGR. This maturity comprises about one third of low birth weight babies. In developed countries, its overall incidence is about 2 to 8%. The incidence among the term babies is about 5%, and that among the post-term babies is about 15%. Now, what is the small for gestational age and intrauterine growth retarded babies? These terms often used synonymously, but there is a difference. SGA means small for gestational age fetus, fulfill the growth potential and are not growth restricted. These are constitutively small but anatomically normal. They have no increased obstetric or neonatal risk. On the other hand, intrauterine growth restricted or retarded babies, they refer to the fetuses that are small for gestational age and display other signs of chronic hypoxia or failure of thrive due to late onset of pathological cessation of the growth. So this is the basic difference between the SGA and IUGR babies. A comparison between normal and IUGR babies can be seen. So what is the normal intrauterine growth? There are the three stages of the intrauterine growth. In stage 1, there is hyperplasia mainly occurs. It occurs in the first 16 weeks. In this, rapid mitosis is there and increasing cell numbers, and organogenesis occurs in this phase. In stage 2, hyperplasia and hypertrophy. This stage from 16 to 32 weeks. Mitosis is declining, but increasing cell number and size both are there. And in this stage, maturation of the organs is taking place. And in stage 3, there is hypertrophy, and this stage is beyond the 32 weeks of gestational age, and in this rapid hypertrophy takes place, rapid increase in the cell size, rapid accumulation of the fat and glycogen. So on the basis of these stages, in which stage the growth is restricted, classification of the IUGR is. So what is the classification? Type 1 or symmetrical IUGR or intrinsic, type 2 or asymmetric IUGR or extrinsic, and third is the intermediate IUGR. IUGR may also be classified as a early onset or late onset. Early onset means onset before 32 weeks, and late onset means after 32 weeks of the gestational age. Now, what is the symmetrical IUGR? Incidence is 20 to 30%. It occurs as a result of the growth inhibition early in the pregnancy, that is the hyperplastic stage. Any pathological insult at this phase leads to reduced number of the cells and overall decreased growth potential. And the causes for this is symmetrical IUGR, intrauterine infections, chromosomal abnormalities, congenital malformations. All parameters, head and abdomen circumference, length and weight, are below 10th percentile for the gestational age. So this means the ponderal index for these babies will be normal, as the ponderal index is equal to birth weight upon height cube. So in this we are using weight and height both, and both are the below 10th percentile, so these are the normal ponderal index. Now type 2, asymmetric IUGR. Incidence is 70 to 80% and occurs as a result of the restriction of nutrient supply in utero, that is uteroplacental insufficiency. It is usually associated with maternal disease like chronic hypertension, renal disease, vasculopathies. Onset of the growth restriction occurs usually after 28 weeks of the gestation, that is, in the stage of the hypertrophy. There is a brain sparing effect so that the head growth remains normal but the abdominal girth slows down. That is why pondal index is low. Now, difference between the symmetric and asymmetric IOGR. Symmetric IOGR are uniformly small, but asymmetric we have head larger than abdomen. In the symmetric, pondal index is normal. As I earlier told, pondal index in asymmetrical is low. Head circumference with ratio of abdominal circumference and femur length ratio with abdominal circumference is normal in the symmetrical, but in asymmetrical these ratios are elevated. The etiology in the symmetrical is intrinsic to the fetus, but in asymmetrical IUGR, the etiology is extrinsic to the fetus. In symmetrical, total cell number is equal to less cell size or normal, but in asymmetrical, the size is normal and small. Neonatal course in symmetrical is complicated with poor prognosis, and in asymmetrical there is usually uncomplicated having good prognosis. Now third one is the intermediate IUGR. Incidence is 5 to 10%. It is a combination of type 1 and type 2. Fetal growth restriction occurs during intermediate phase of the growth, affecting both hyperplasia and hypertrophy, and it results in the decrease in cell number as well as cell size. And the causes are chronic hypertension, lupus nephritis, maternal vascular diseases. Now, in the graph pictorial presentation, we can see the normal head and normal abdomen in the normal baby, and in symmetrical IUGR, both head and abdomen both are the small, and in asymmetrical IUGR, the head size is normal but abdomen is small in size. What is the etiology? It may be maternal, may be fetal, may be placental, may be unknown. So IUGR can be result of the maternal, fetal, placental, genetic, or can be a combination of these. So what is the placental circulation? First have a look over the placental circulation. It is a two part uteroplacental circulation. Maternal blood circulates through with intervillous space with help of the uterine contraction and relaxation. Cytotrophoblastic invasion up to spiral and radial artery. Funneling of the spiral artery creates pressure of 70 to 80 millimeter of mercury. This is the fetoplacental circulation. Exchange of the maternal blood through placental barrier. From chronic villi, pure blood is carried to fetus by single umbilical vein. Impure blood from fetus is drained into intervillous space through two umbilical arteries. So, have a look. What are the placental causes? Placenta is the sole channel for nutrition and oxygen supply to the fetus. Single umbilical artery, abnormal placentation, chronic villitis, hemorrhagic endovasculitis, placenta previa, abruption, filamentous umbilical cord insertion, and infraction. These are can be the cause for the IUGR. Placental causes sorry uteroplacental insufficiency resulting from the reduced maternal blood flow to the placental bed, improper inadequate trophoblastic invasion and placentation in the first trimester. What is the causes fetoplacental insufficiency? These are the vascular anomalies of the placenta and cord, increase in thickness of placental barrier or placental membrane, which includes syncytiotrophoblast, basement membrane, mesoderm, endothelium, and cytotrophoblast. A small placenta can be a cause of the in vitro placental insufficiency. Abruptio placenta and circumvallate placenta are also be a cause. Normal and IUGR placentas are can be grossly differentiated. What is the fetal causes of IUGR? First one is the chromosomal disorders. Usually results in the early onset IUGR, autosomal deletions, sex chromosome disorders, and trisomies of the 13, 18, and 21 chromosome. Second is the congenital infection. Growth potential severely impaired. Timing of infection is a crucial thing. Viruses such as rubella, cytomegalovirus, varicella, and HIV. Protozoa like malaria, toxoplasma, trypanosoma. These could be a cause. Structural anomalies, all major structural defects involving CNS, CVS, GIT, genitourinary, and musculoskeleton can be a cause. Genetic causes, inborn error of metabolism like agenesis of the pancreas, galactosemia, and phenylketonuria. Now, third is the maternal causes. Maternal causes, extremes of the maternal age, grand multiparity, history of IUGR, low maternal weight gain in pregnancy. Maternal disease, uteroplacental insufficiency result from these medical complications such as hypertension, renal disease, autoimmune disease, and hypertrophy. Sorry, hyperthyroidism. This is the hyperthyroidism. No. Okay. Now, toxins, smoking, alcohol, cocaine, drugs abuse can be a cause. Thrombophilias, antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, and other thrombophilias leading to placental thrombosis and impaired thromboblastic function and nutritional deficiency in the mother. In this, we can see age, high altitude, infection, preeclampsia, smoking, undernutrition causes the placental insufficiency, which ultimately causes reduced nutrients transport to the baby and result in the IUGR baby. So, what is the physiology in the normal pregnant woman? In a fetus in a normal pregnant woman receives a normal supply of the glucose through, because the glucose level in mother is normal and intervillous blood flow is normal. This causes the normal glucose flow into the fetus, and insulin production is normal, causes the normal somatic growth, collagen storage, glycogen storage, and fat deposition. But if in the hypertensive woman there is a intervillous blood flow is low, which causes the low glucose level in the fetus, and low insulin production causes the low glycogen storage, low growth, and low fat deposition. What is the pathophysiology? The reduced availability of the nutrients, reduced transfer of the nutrients by placenta, or improper utilization of the nutrients by fetus. All of these causes the reduction in the cell number or cell size, and which ultimately causes the growth restriction in the intrauterine life, and it causes the intrauterine growth restriction in the babies. Thank you. Have a nice day.